Thanks for watching 4Color Commentary. I'm Mark Allen, and it's been a minute. Let me center myself a little better. There we go. Okay. It's been a little while since I've done a FaceTime type video. I'm just calling it FaceTime because you see my face. But, it's been a while since I've done one of these videos. But what happened was this past weekend, this past Saturday, I actually worked my first con in over 20 years. And the Pryor Creek Comic Convention in Pryor, Oklahoma. It's a great con. It was a great time. Really enjoyed it. And just wanted to share my haul because it was a great, like I say, I didn't get to, I worked my own booth. Didn't get to take my oldest son. I was going to take Isaiah. A better offer came up for him. What can I say? It's not as much of a thrill hanging out with your dad at 14 as it was at 9 or 10, okay? But anyway, so I had to work the booth the whole time, and so I didn't get a whole lot of time to get out and wander around, but I did manage to get a stack of books. And I'm going to start with the first thing I got from a guy named Chris Hardy, who actually has a bookstore in Pryor, Oklahoma. And I got a companion to a book I already have. I have the Smithsonian book of comic strips, but I got this from him, a Smithsonian book of comic book comics. And so it speaks specifically about the comics and the comic books and the kind of the history of the comic book. And I'm not going to say too much about this right now because I'm going to review it. It is going to be the next rousing reference material. So anyway, it's a great book. Got it for a song, and just a wonderful, wonderful addition to the bookshelf and to the reference library. I'm going to start with the newer stuff and go to the older stuff, save the best to last, as it were. But there's a series I'd been wanting to try for a long time before it ever hit the hot list, and because of the rallying of the female heroes at the end of Endgame, Avengers Endgame, A-Force, the first A-Force miniseries. I'm not even sure how many issues there were. But here's what I got. I got the first 5 of the first series. I wanted to read this, but here's the thing, and I kept seeing the first 5 issues at Hurley's Heroes in Joplin, but I kept passing them up, even though they were $1 a piece. I kept passing them up. Finally, whenever they turned up on the hot list, because possibility of an A-Force movie or some such thing, especially since they're bringing the She-Hulk TV show, or they're bringing a She-Hulk TV show. They're producing it for Disney Plus, which we now have, by the way. Great stuff. But after that, when I found out I hit the hot list, I went back to Hurley's, and of course it was gone. So I thought, oh well, at some point I'll read a trade or something like that. But I found those in a $1 box from some great guys called Jam Comics out of Joplin. But anyway, so was able to score those $1 a piece, and also got a series that I've been trying to put together for a little while, the second Booster Gold series, okay, number 1. So now I can start it properly. I've got a few other issues here and there, but now I can start properly putting this series together. I always liked Dan Jurgens' work, and Jeff Johns, of course, works on it as well. But anyway, just some great stuff there. The issues I've read out of sequence have been entertaining. And so anyway, glad to have that. Now, start with the older stuff. And we'll go ahead and start with the one independent that I picked up. And tough to find these in nice gray. This one's going to need a press. Does have something going on, a little bit like moisture damage just on the cover, in the middle of the cover. But still a bright issue, a nice looking Space 1999 number 2 from Charlton Comics. And just a great looking book. I've commented before on the Charlton books of that time. They looked like sometimes they were colored in watercolor or even crayon, really well in crayon. But I'm not knocking it because I like the look. I've always liked the look of a lot of the coloring of the Charlton comics, and that's the thing. A lot of older comics guys have knocked it in the past, but I like it. Moving on to some DC stuff. I finally added a couple of more issues to my Batman family run that I'm trying to complete. I've been trying to complete for years. Actually got issue 16 and issue number 12. And so, was that 12? Yes, that's 12. And so got to add those to the... none of these, by the way, with the exception of 2 comics I'll show you in a moment, none of these were over $3 a piece. So this one was actually $3. This one was $1. Is that gauche? Is that rude to talk about price on these videos? I don't know. But I got a good deal. Got con deals. Toward the end of the con is when I got those deals too. Another DC comic that will take a little bit of a press due to a bit of a spine roll, but Detective Comics number 448. I always like this cover. Talia and Batman being shot on the front cover, the same poses, and I love that Detective Comics logo. I always have liked that, but even though it takes up a lot of cover space, I like that cover. Now, last DC book, and the rest is going to be Marvel action. But I've got a couple of copies of this already. But you know how I am with the bling covers, the shiny covers. Got another Robin #1 with that beautiful kind of chromium foil looking, not chromium, foil raised cover there, and I love that. So yeah, Robin #1 from 1993. Got another copy of that. Now, some of these books here that I'm about to share are nostalgia buys, and I do a lot of that these days simply because I was lucky enough to read a lot of good books whenever I was a kid. A lot of good comics, and which let's be honest, anyone who read Marvel comics did read a lot of good comics of my era. Anyway, Marvel Team Up number 66, Spider-Man and Captain Britain run the gauntlet of Murder World, Arcade's Murder World. Great book, high grade. Love that book. Read it again a couple of nights ago. It was great stuff. Peter Parker, Spectacular Spider-Man number 8. And I've got the other two parts of this story, number 7 and number 9, a 3-part Morbius story. But just great stuff. Really, that's a wonderful Paul Gulacy cover there. Get a close-up on that. As a kid, never realized, I just knew I liked the book, liked the cover. Never realized that was a Paul Gulacy cover until I acquired it again just recently, just this weekend. And then more Spectacular Spider-Man numbers 12 and number 12 and number 14 with Razorback. What a ridiculously fun, enjoyable, likable superhero. Razorback, a guy with a big pig head as a headdress, and nothing, guy's just a big, strong guy, no superpowers, nothing like that. Drove an 18-wheeler, as I recall, but just a great, they go up against the hate monger there, and just a great book, lots of fun. A little bit closer to completing my Werewolf by Night run with number 5, a Plug issue. Love that Plug cover, Michael Plug, just a great horror artist of the day, and Werewolf number 5. That was actually that paid more than $3 for that, but that's okay. You got to do that from time to time at a con. Great deals from an outfit called Deadlift Collectibles. I think out of the Oklahoma City, Edmond area. Anyway, and then Werewolf by Night number 17. Both high grade, nice books, and just glad to have those in the old library, as it were. And then Marvel Presents with the Guardians of the Galaxy. Marvel Presents number 7. Slowly building those up. Just going back and getting these Marvel, these Bronze Age Marvels. I know a lot of guys are still doing the silver and as they can, not Golden Age Marvel, but Golden Age books. But and of course, Night Tiger, he loves those Golden Age books. I do too. But man, these Bronze Age Marvels, that's my primary shopping point right now, and is just trying to acquire as many Bronze Age Marvel books as I can. It's just a great time in comics. Number 18, Where Monsters Dwell. Now these monster comic reprints of Marvel in the Bronze Age, or in the Bronze Age of the 70s. Just great, they were reprints in many cases of the old timely monster comics and monster stories with some new material thrown in there. Obviously new covers done for them, but this is Where Monsters Dwell number 18. Really nice high grade copy. These were hard to find, even though they were reprint books. Difficult to find in high grade. I only assume it's because people liked to read them, and liked to read them again and again. And so great stuff there. Glad to get home with that. Now, this next book, this is my 3rd copy of this, I believe, at least 2nd, but I think 3rd. That is A-Team number 1. Listen, I was growing up. I was in middle school and high school in the 80s. Who didn't like the A-Team? The A-Team was a wonderful, lots of fun TV show that comes across a little cheesy, a little campy now, but at the time was great. And so I love that. I like that issue. I like that cover. I like the cover of number 1, And one of these days I'll complete the series, but right now I just like grabbing that cover. Something about the bright red and everything, and the bright yellow, A-Team logo there, just good stuff. And then do have a little bit of Silver Age goodness in here. Here's one of it. One of them, the Mighty Thor, number 163. Just a wonderful Kirby cover. What can you say? It's Kirby. It's the king. And what else can you say? That's really all that needs to be said. Just great. A little bit of crackling Kirby energy there, and just a great book there. Silver Age Marvel. And then another Thor, issue number 232, where Thor battles Fire Lord. This is great. Who did that cover? I didn't check the cover for the artist. It looks like it might be a Cockrum cover. Hard to tell. But I do know it's Buscema interior pencils, and so great book there. And love that cover. And then also, and look at the black background and the red and white of the Thor logo. Just another high grade. The red of Thor's cape and everything just bouncing around there. Here's another great cover that pops. Slowly working on. I'm working on so many Bronze Age Marvel series, it's not funny. But another installment in my Marvel 2-in-1 run, number 7. Nice bright red background there, and just a nice crisp looking cover, and high grade book again. And just great to be able to come away with these books from Pryor Creek Comic Con, the 4th annual Pryor Creek Comic Con. I hope to set up there again next year. Now, I'm going to see if I can do this without slaughtering it in my Oklahoma English. The Pores de la Resistance. I can't do it. All right, anyway, the only issue of the original, the volume 1 of the Silver Surfer series I have, but it is the Jack Kirby issue and cover, Silver Surfer number 18. I got that for just a great deal. And I'm going to press that. It has a little bit of some wrinkles, some creases going on. It's going to be a great book to just kind of gently press. I'm not even sure I'm going to apply any heat to it, but I'll be doing a video on the pressing of that book very, very soon. And so keep an eye out for that. But anyway, there you go. There's my comic haul. First comic haul I've done. Was that the first comic haul? That was the first comic haul of 2020. And so, yeah, I'm glad you could be here. Thanks for watching. Hey, listen, like the video, and if you haven't subscribed, I'd sure like to have you subscribe. Appreciate those who subscribed just recently, and shout out to Arican and his Comics, who just recently went out there and promoted my channel. I appreciate that very much. And so anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next video.